came prepared to whatever they will be doing to us, whether they play zone, press us, or send some double team. I think we are really prepared for that.
Kailangan magkaroon kaming excellent attitude para matapatan namin.
Dennis Miranda reading the passing lane. Asher firing at all cylinders, loses control, manages to get it to the clever. Step back, goes! Santos will receive it. The floater. No sir, follow up.
Sander got the inside track.
Here's Yo trying to look for some shooting space. Picks it up, goes left.
Oh, yes!
Here's Cardona. Goes up. Mangas. 1-4-second differential between game clock and shot clock. Finally, a long one for FEU. Tuckler. Yeah, with touch pass and Santos launches a three. Yes. Mocking the defense.
Oh,
Everybody on the way to the pass. Guaranya.
Will there be a celebration today? A celebration that the DLSU Green Archers have experienced 6 times already and 4 in the last 6 years. History is in a bit of their side as no team has recovered from make that a Game 1 loss in the last 4 seasons. If they win today, it would be the 4th time in LaSalle's 17-year history that the Archers win at the expense of the team that they're facing today here at the Big Dome, the Far Eastern University Tamaraos. Also know how it is to celebrate the championship. They've celebrated it 18 times in the 67-year history of the UAAP. If they want at least a chance to celebrate this year, they will have to dig down deep within themselves, give it all they've got, and play with the heart of a champion today and stay alive in this series. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of your Sunday showdown today at the Araneta Coliseum. It is game number 2 of the best-of-3 finals between the Far Eastern University Tamaraos and the DLSU Green Archers. And we will kick it off when we come back here on Studio 23. We are playing to a capacity crowd here at the Big Dome. Welcome to game number 2 of the finals of the DLSU Green Archers going up against the Far Eastern University Tamaraos. Of course, LaSalle ahead in this series 1-0. And you are watching us live on Studio 23. Good afternoon, Philippines. It is a pleasure to have you with us. Boom Gonzalez alongside DJ Manotok. And DJ, FEU coming into this game, I talked to them a while ago. They're very confident. They say they're a different team. They say it's going to be a different outcome. Well, for the FEU faithfuls, DJ, they're hoping na hindi lang confidence ang baon nila dito because LaSalle is in a surge.
Absolutely. You know, FEU is one team that knows how to come back after a loss. Never in this whole season have they been on a low, series of games when their morale has been low. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that they're very upbeat for this game, as you said.
Yes.
And that's exactly the kind of attitude they have to have if they want to come out of this game victorious and come back for a game number 3.
All right, they have the attitude down pat. Let's check out the numbers. The statistics will not lie in game number 1.
Well, this is what happened in game number 1, Boom. FEU really had a miserable time scoring. They only shot 30% from the field, put up only 51 points on the board. Their lowest ever, considering this is a team that averages 68.7 points per ball game. Samantalang itong De La Salle shot 36% from the field. Now here's where it gets interesting. De La Salle out-rebounded FEU by 8 rebounds, 47-39, considering that FEU averages more rebounds, 47-41. There's a lot of stories regarding that. We'll get to that later on. Turnovers, horrible for FEU. 29 turnovers as compared to 26 of La Salle.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest stories of the ball game because obviously they had a horrible time in containing that full court pressure defense of De La Salle. Look at the turnover points, 17-4. And also, fast break points, 12-4. And one stat I'd like to add in was very crucial. Bench points, La Salle won that 17-7.
You know, DJ, so far these teams have met 3 times here in season 67. La Salle has won 2, and there have been 2 guys who seem to love to play against FEU, Macmac Cardona and of course Ryan Aranya.
Well, these guys were the main men in that Game 1 victory, and they were on fire. They shot so well from the field, talking about Macmac and Ryan Aranya. In fact, Ryan, a lot of people were worried that he might not have been able to play today, but the UAAP board allowed him due to a reviewing that unsportsmanlike
We'll
foul.
talk about that later.
Exactly, and you look at what they did, 16 points, 15 points for Mac Cardona, but the field goal shooting was impeccable. 58% for Aranya, 41% for Mac Cardona, and together they combined for 12 rebounds, which I feel was one of the biggest factors why they helped out-rebound FEU 47-39. That was a big factor. These guys who played off guard and small forward respectively, getting 6 rebounds apiece was a very big thing. They have to do the same thing today. Score very well and rebound very well if they want to close this championship today.
All right, let's talk about the defending champions on the verge of losing their crown today, the Far Eastern University. Well, if Macmac and Ryan Aranya delivered for La Salle, yung inaasahan naman ni Coach Coy Banal, our MVP winner na si Arwin Santos and the team leader na si Denok Miranda, because of foul trouble din, nahirapan to si Denok Miranda to deliver in game number 1.
Well, if you look at their total points, boom, it's not so far from their averages. Arwin Santos averages 13 points a ball game. He shot 14. Denok Miranda averages 12 a ball game. He put up 10. But look at their field goal shooting. Miserable. 33% for Arwin Santos. That's 4 out of 12. In fact, he was 2 out of 7 from 3-point territory. Denok Miranda only 3 out of 11, and they played a whole bunch of minutes. So if you're going to play that many minutes, take that many shots, and be that inaccurate, you're in big trouble if you're FEU.
All right, then let's not keep you in suspense any longer. Let's give you game number 2 of the finals between De La Salle Green Archers and FEU. Coach Coy Banal looking to stay alive in the series, going up against Coach Franz Pumarin, who's looking for his 5th title in 7 years. You're all watching this live on Studio 23. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle, the war begins. Yes, it is showtime here at the Big Dome. It's the game between Coach Franz Pumarin and the Green Archers against Coach Coy Banal and the Tamaraos. Our Nescafe starting 5. A truly good game coming up. This is going to be, you know, you can use all the cliches, DJ, a slugfest, a battle, but you know that FEU has no choice but to just go all out and no holding back for them.
Absolutely.
This might be their last game.
Absolutely. No holding back, no holding punches. However, that may have been one of the things that caused the low output in terms of bench scoring for Coach Coy Banal in game number 1. Remember, he started with Arwin Santos, Don Yabon, and Mark Isip, all 3 big men together. And maybe that could be one reason in their dip in bench scoring. Today, he has corrected that. He puts Jobim Garcia in the starting lineup, replacing Mark Isip. So he starts with Don Yabon and Arwin Santos only as his big men. And Arwin Santos will now start this game at the power forward slot. Will this strategy of putting Mark Isip first coming off the bench give him more points off the bench on his rotation? We will see if that will help itong si Coach Coy Banal, because if you look at the bench points 17-7, if you look at the fast break points 12-4, I think that's the story of the game right there.
So in other words, yung eksperimento ni Coach Coy Banal in game number 1, medyo nag-backfire. EY time goes down to Macmac Cardona, trying to control the leather, and he loses it. So it's still 2-0 with FEU. Miranda, who was playing in foul trouble, especially in the first half, will try to take care of that today as Don Yabu kicks off festivities with a 4-0 count. You know, this is one thing that FEU doesn't want LaSalle to do and start off strong. And so far, they're the ones with the upper hand.
Well, that's why Coach Roy Banal tried that big starting lineup in game number 1. He was very wary of LaSalle's strong start. Kumbaga, ayaw niya mapag-iwanan. As you see, Rizada, 1-on-1 here.
And he twirls around DY Tang. It is a 6-0 run for the defending champions who vowed to Coach Koy Banal that this is going to be a different FEU team that's going to come out here in game number 2. Cardona passes off to Gago, who is fouled but foiled at the same time. You know, there's something going on here at the Big Dome. People are throwing, you know, those I don't know, they're not frisbees.
They're
the fans. From the sponsors, as we look at this Milo Amazing fast break and RJ Rizada getting it up and in. You know, this is dangerous. We don't, yung mga fans na yan, no matter how light they are, when you throw them up in the air,
sharp.
Masakit yan pag may binagsakan.
They're very sharp.
Dahil linggo, TJ, we have a lot of kids here.
Yes.
You do not want anybody, whether they're kids or the adults, to get hurt. And we have, you know, security here at the Araneta Coliseum, and hopefully they take care of that. Nanggagaling sa taas eh.
Nakakapagtaka, wala naman rason kung bakit mapato. Parang trip lang. They can just throw these frisbees in there. Anyway,
you know, this is a beautiful series. We don't want to taint it with something like that.
Absolutely. Well, 2 possessions ago, you saw Don Yabut drain a jumper. Don Yabut in the last game only had 4 points. And Don Yabut, if you recall, Boom, in their first encounter, in the first round, even though FEU lost, that was Don Yabut's best game. 16 points and 16 rebounds. So Don Yabut has to go back to that game. He has to realize, hey, I can score against this team. I can rebound well against this team. I can dominate the inside. He has to have that kind of a game. At least 10, 12 points. Don Yabut and Marquis have combined only at 10 points in game number 1. They have to have at least 10 points apiece. It's time for them to step up here in the finals.
4 on the shot clock. Don Yabut brings it back, and that's a traveling infraction on the captain of FEU. You know, it has been said that FEU has the best front line in season 67 of the UAAP, and that was totally neutralized in game number 1.
Well, they just had such a tough time to begin with, getting the ball to them inside Boom. A team that had 29 turnovers, obviously, had a hard time crossing half court, had a hard time executing their half-court sets, and the few touches for your big men on the floor, the lesser your field goal percentage will be. That's why they only had 30% of the field. The majority of their shots had to come from the outside.
Speaking of turnovers, that's another one for LaSalle. Let's go to Jam Alindogan for this report from the FEU bench.
Yes, after their loss in the game 1, the Cockerels got down to business right away. In the dugout, the players were resolved and focused. They realized their mistakes, analyzed their mistakes, and there was no overlooking them at all. The coach said that everything is possible for those who dream, but faith without work is dead. He said that the real winners are those who were able to overcome their setbacks. He said this is a totally different ball game. We have come this far, and definitely there is no looking back. He said we have to play like a champion today. Back to the
There's no question about that, because, again, FEU cannot afford to lose. This might be the last game of the season for them, so they have to play with a major sense of urgency.
You know, I agree with what Coach Koy Banal focused on. It was more of the attitude and the focus of the ball game, not so much a technical aspect.
Exactly. It has been said that when it comes to, you know, on paper, man-to-man, FEU can compete with LaSalle. There's no question about that. Maybe can even dominate them. Yun na nga. But mentally, psychologically, LaSalle had their number in game number 1. 6:43 to play. FEU in the lead by 7. This is game number 2 of the finals here on Studio 23.
Welcome back to Game 2 of the finals, where the Green Archers are up against the FEU Tamaraos. Michael Jordan once said that talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence win championships. That was essentially the message behind a Coach Franz to his boys just before they came to the game. You're as good as the guy beside you, Coach said. We must continue trusting each other. Coach also told them that in every movie, story, and in this game in particular, it is the ending that is most important. Today they work for that happy ending. Back to Boom and TJ.
Thank you very much, Miggy. I think that is one thing that they have realized starting the second round. You have to remember LaSalle is on a 9-game winning streak. As you look at the field goal situation, LaSalle has not scored from the field.
And FEU, on the other hand, has shot quite well to begin this ball game, 4 out of 7.
Mac Cardona has it taken away, but he recovers and takes it away from RJ Rizado. Could not control his dribble. Cardona up and in. But the referee called a foul before the shot. Referee Stabanyag, Banyalan, and Tolentino joining us here on the Big Dome.
Good call right there. The foul was downstairs before Mac Cardona was able to bring it up. Yung subok na sundot sa likod ni Rizada.
7 rebounds for FEU, only 1 for LaSalle. Both have 2 turnovers, but FEU with 4 turnover points. As Tang throws up the 3 off the back iron, and Arwin Santos, the Defensive Player of the Year, and this year's MVP, comes away with his 2nd rebound of the game.
Well, a bunch of turnovers early on so far for LaSalle, and they haven't really gotten into any offensive groove to begin with.
There's another turnover. T.Y. Tang ahead of the pack and up and in.
And they gotta start this. This is what went well for them. Turnover points, fast break points, and forcing FEU into costly turnovers.
Oh, that's another one. Bad pass by Miranda going to the 6'7" Don Yabur on the run. Kamatu gets it to trickle in at the 5:45 mark of the first quarter. LaSalle with 4 straight points here in the game. 8-5 is the score. You know, Denok, that's a mistake that I would not expect Denok to make. On the run, he would give it to Don Yabur.
Well, he had nowhere else to go, but see what happened now. Finally, LaSalle was able to implement their press. The only time they can implement their press is when they score.
Yes, they convert.
Oo, so naka-convert sila kanina. Nakaagaw na naman dahil sa press.
Cardona, the teardrop. You deny him the shot earlier. He comes back and attacks you right away. Mac Cardona is out to prove something, DJ. You see it in his face.
Well, everybody wearing green thought he would be the MVP. Everybody wearing yellow thought and knew that this man was the MVP.
Probably, in terms of controversy, probably only, you know, it will rival last year's results of, you know, the mythical selection and the MVP. In the meantime, we'll talk more about that later. LaSalle has come back in this ball game at the 5:03 mark of the first quarter. Stay with us, please. For 2 of the finals between LaSalle and FEU. LaSalle won the title 4 straight years, lost it in the last couple of years. Their faithfuls believe, though, that this is their year. It might be start of something good again as Cardona scores his first 2 points in that familiar shot put looking shot.
Yep.
I'm running out of words to describe that because it's not even a hook.
It's not at all. It's a shot put kind of a shot. It's just a mile away from matchup boom.
For Anytime, Anywhere Energy, grab a bar now. The 2 contenders for the MVP plum.
Mark Isip has now come in the ball game, replacing Don Yabut.
Send it out to Jeffrey Chan, who gets it to go from beyond the arc.
That's a big shot for Jeff Chan. He only had 4 points for FEU in that game, number 1. He had 4 out of the 7 bench points.
We saw the turnover points earlier at 4-0 yan kanina, courtesy of FEU. Humabol na itong LaSalle. 6-4. And Cardona from 15 feet.
Hey, who says he can't make that kind of a shot from that far out?
Boy, he has brought the whole arsenal today. And he is playing defense too on Denok Miranda. Splits the double. Jeffrey Chan puts it on the floor, maintains composure, and able to get it up and in off the window.
I like his aggressiveness. Jeffrey Chan has to realize that Mac Cardona is the one guarding Denok Miranda. That means he's got the smallest guy on the court guarding him, T.Y. Tang. He's got about a 4-inch or 5-inch height advantage. He's got to take the ball strong to the basket against T.Y.
Excellent point, DJ. In the meantime, FEU recovering on this possession. Denok goes up and lazily puts it in. And the lead is now at 6-15 to 9 with 3:38 remaining. We did mention that they thought, or they feel that this is a different FEU team coming into this ball game, and they definitely are showing it. More aggressive. Nawala yata yung takot.
The focus is there. It's really there. As you see, Rizada take it out to Jeff Chan for the big 3.
He scores 5 straight points. It started off with that smart buddy 3-point shot. Get the lead up to 6 at 15-9. At dahil linggo, mas marami rin mga taga-FEU na nandito sa Araneta. They don't seem to be as outnumbered as they were last Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the crowd, of course. The MVP throws it up. He has been off so far here in the first, but he saves possession. Denok says, may fresh shot clock tayo. Let's play with it.
0 out of 2 now, Arvin Santos from beyond the arc. Not a lot of FEU faithful was very happy with the way he took so many shots from three-point line in game number 1. He was only 2 out of 7 from three-point line, and those 5 misses, some of them were really horrible, ugly misses. So if you're Arvin Santos, you're 6'4", you got the great ability to do so many things on the court. Why not break your man down off the dribble and take him strong to the basket? As you see, Joseph Yo now joining the fray.
Coach Transmomanen trying to shot in the arm of the Green Archers right now.
Early on. This is normally not the time that Joseph Yo comes in the court from the bench.
Under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter. Miranda lets it fly, comes up short. And Isip able to track down the loose ball. They recover and reset the table. Chan from the left corner. That dribbles out. Arvin Santos still unable to score. Cardona tries to find a way, and he does.
Give him a tiny crack in the defense. He'll find it and he'll slither his way through. He's like plastic man today.
How deadly is that? Joseph Yo and Mac Cardona finishing the break. Joseph trying to play stingy defense on Denok. Arvin has not found the range yet today. Isip against the double team. And Gako called for the foul.
That's presence of mind of Mark Isip there. Good timing on the good seal. He saw the ball swing from strong side to weak side, sealed off Gako.
Here's a Milo amazing fast break. Look at the hesitation move and then the ability to finish
Contrapectus pa
the
yun.
foul off the glass. And you see in Mac Cardona, he does not panic in situations like these.
You see the confidence in his eyes when he's in the open court. He loves it. He loves the open court.
And remember, he has been part of a championship team back in 2001
right.
when he won the Rookie of the Year glove. As we look at RB Mangahas now checking in.
Now RB Mangas naman boom in game number 1. Played 8 minutes at 0 points. RB Mangas, I think, is another integral factor in the bench of FEU. Even though he only plays 8 to 10 minutes a ball game. Why? Because in their second round win against DLSU boom, he only played 10 minutes. But you know what his production was? 9 points, 5 rebounds. He's a big man who, when given the ball at the right spots, can make his points. He's got to work hard for the rebounds. He's got to work hard sealing off in the post. He's got to be an offensive factor for FEU in this series. He has to start it today if he wants them to get the game played.
Of course, that takes a little pressure off the other big men like Mark Isip and Arvin Santos when you have an extra guy scoring 9 points and hauling down 5 rebounds. 2:11 to play. The lead is 5 for FEU. I believe FEU never led in that game in game 1, so this is something that they're enjoying here in game number 2. Benitez now in the ball game for Lasal. Tang against Cutler. Joseph Yo, 8 seconds on the shot clock. T.Y. Tang up, but not in. And Mark Isip had the ball, but Cholo Villanueva takes it away, does the reverse, and gets a foul in the process. What a play for the comebacking Cholo Villanueva.
That's great timing there by Cholo. He saw Mark Isip come down strong in the rebound.
Whoop, Yon, where are you going?
Right here.
All caught in our smart buddy instant replay. And you know, Mark Isip is not one of the easiest players to take a ball from.
Normally, he's one of the best fundamentally sound rebounders. I mean, this guy, watch his basics. Footwork, boxing out, rebounding, timing, a lot of these things, Mark Isip is already very complete with.
But if you notice, he doesn't also put down the ball when he gets that rebound.
Hardly.
Rarely does it. And now he crosses the border. For FEU, the lead is down to 2 because of the 3-point play for Villanueva. Isip against Kabatu, settles for the pull-up. He knew it was not there. Miranda goes back to Cutler. They have a fresh shot clock to work with. Isip traveled, or no, a 3-second infraction call on Mark Isip.
Well, that was good intentions already by Den of Miranda. I guess Coach Coy, without realizing, hey, we've taken so many outside shots already. Yes, we hit a couple of them, but let's try and focus inside. Let's get our field goal percentage up there. Flip the ball in the post, get it to the big man.
1:29 remaining in quarter number 1 of game number 2 of the finals between FEU and De La Salle. FEU, their backs against the wall, trying to force a do-or-die matchup, which will happen, I believe, on Thursday.
Yes, if it happens.
Solo, ball knocked away from behind. Now FEU trying to extend that lead, 16-14. It's Chan and Rizada and Cutler. The backcourt. Chan eludes everybody else. Rizada from the left corner. Gets it to go!
On the line there, but that was a big shot to bail them out of a possession that was going nowhere.
That's right. Long two for RJ Rizada. So the lefties, the left-handed connection of FEU, humming today here at the Big Dome, and a traveling infraction. JV Casio, who is fresh off the bench.
Good call there by the referee. JV Casio, one of the few LaSalle players who did not have a good game. He did play 13 minutes in game number 1, although did not score and only had 2 rebounds.
40.5 seconds remaining in quarter number 1. Cutler, who now will take over quarterbacking chores from Deno Ferrando, sits down. RB Mangas to Isip. Isip given a little space. Curls. Mangas from 15. Nothing there. The tap going to JV Casio. Playing in the second here for De La Salle. Casio waits for more backup. The ball knocked away from him. Pressure from FEU, but Joseph Yo recovers. 10 on the shot clock. And LaSalle is going to go for the last heave on this one. Cholo thought about it. Sets up Benitez. Benitez against a triple team. Nowhere to go. And the ball will remain with LaSalle with 2.6 to play.
That's great defense right there for FEU. You're seeing a different look now in terms of FEU's game, as we mentioned. To begin this game, they're a lot more focused, they're a lot more determined, they're a lot more
Toughness.
confident. Yes.
Even kung tawagin, no?
Correct.
Kagat sila ngayon. Unlike in game 1 where they looked lost. Rusty.
They didn't look like a champion team in game number 1. Very far from that.
That might have cost them. They have so far 2 runner-up finishes at FEU, and they were both against LaSalle, DJ, in 1998 and the year 2000. They don't want to duplicate that. Ball taken away, and that will do it for quarter number 1 of game 2 of the finals between De La Salle and FEU. Coach Coy Banal vowed that his players will look different and will play different, and so far they have the lead. It's been a different first quarter for FEU, 18-14. We'll be back with second quarter action here at the Big Dome. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here, the overflowing crowd joining us at the Big Dome at the heart of Cubao, Quezon City for game number 2 of the finals between FEU and De La Salle University. The defending champions ahead 18-14 in the first quarter. Boom Gonzalez, TJ Manotok for ABS-CBN Sports joining you on this great Sunday afternoon, the main event of your Sunday showdown, and that's the numbers, or those are the numbers of the first quarter.
There you go, 8 out of 19 from the field for FEU. So look at rebounds also, 13-5, and that's the normal
That's
FEU.
14 already.
That's a normal
Yes,
FEU
yes.
if you're Coach Coy, but you're happy with that stat. You were very unhappy with the way you were out-rebounded in game number 1. And now that they had a 13-5 edge in the boards in the first quarter, you're quite content with your big men's dominance in the paint.
They also had 5 second chance points to none on LaSalle because of that rebounding edge. Yabut settles for the outside shot, nothing there. Cutler taking away the position from JV Casio. Santos from 15 finally sends it home.
That's a nice looking shot there. He had his feet set, caught the ball square to the basket. Nice pass to him, and good recognition by Arvin Santos that he had enough space from Benitez to take that short jump.
That's bad news for Coach Franz Kumara, and if Arvin Santos finds his stroke here in the game. JV maneuvering.
What a
Yo,
pass.
up and in.
What a pass. Not only did JV Casio know Yo was open, he knew that he had to aim to the basket.
Turnover. Sends the ball back to LaSalle. 8:41, 20-16 is our score. Coach Coy Banal trying to stay alive in the series. Lolo Villanueva and JV Casio, together with Joseph Yo, Benitez, and the rookie, Rico Mayer Hoffman. The lineup for Coach Franz Pumaret seeking his 5th title in 7 years. Yo spinning, losing possession. Meyerhofer recovering and gets it up and in over the MVP.
Don Yabut was absolutely lost there. He wanted to try and block that from behind. Then Miranda's telling him right now how to play weak side defense against Meyerhofer. Arwin Santos picks up his first foul.
Let's look at our Smart Buddy instant replay, and there Arwin Santos just a tad bit late and kind of helped.
He did actually. Meyerhofer was going for the board, but he went for the block. He got a piece of the ball and a piece of the arm, and he helped that shot go in.
FEU with 9 turnovers in the game, LaSalle with 8. Both teams have been careless here so far in the first half. Meyerhofer completes the 3-point play opportunity, and we have a surprise package here for Coach Boy Banal.
You got Paul Flores wearing jersey number 5 in the ball game right now. Paul Flores is he's a rookie, and he's only played 7 games this whole season.
And he's here in game number 2 of the finals as Don Yabut successful with the stick back.
Well, he's here trying to guard Joseph Yo. He's on the court right now. Looks like he's going to be one of those enforcers. Na okay lang, ubusin mo yung foul mo, pantayan mo lang yan.
And Yo nanggigigil dito.
Yeah.
Meyerhofer sends it out to JV Casio, shoots the 3 off the back iron, the tap by Benitez, sends the ball back to FEU, who are in the lead by 3, 22-19, 7:42 remaining in the second quarter.
This is an interesting situation for Don Yabut. He has to realize he's got a rookie guarding him, a smaller guy and a thinner guy. Time for him to be able to put some points on the board.
And the dime by Benitez, and look at Flores, hey.
That's a good call. I was about to say, should have been traveling. But Benitez had both his feet in the air.
Referee's trying to control the situation, and while we have a lull, let's send it over to Vicky Deles.
In a prayer sent by one of the alumni, it was written that only 5 men may stand on the court, but they are backed up by thousands who all make up this incredible team. Today, in front of these thousands, the boys are out here to make a point. We have to play hard. We have to push ourselves. We owe it to the school, to our families, and to ourselves, Coach said. This may be a tough war, but Coach insists that their months of practice and training has given them ample preparation. Back to you and TJ.
Thank you very much, Vicky. While she was reporting, RJ Rizada again nonchalantly kisses it off the glass against 2 LaSalle players, and as I always love to notice, RJ Rizada will never change his facial expression.
Not at all.
I don't care if it's a championship series.
Okay lang yan, basta my game phase is on for RJ Rizada. 8 points already today, boom, for RJ Rizada. And again, the swingman, Jeff Chan, RJ Rizada. So far, they've been aware that they have been guarded by smaller guys. And they're taking it strong to the basket. Mac Cardona just hit itong si Flores, or seemed to have hit Flores as he came in the game. And he tried to act it out and fell down. The referees,
And as you mentioned here,
man, it was a very light tap on the arm, but Flores wanted to do an Oscars.
and as you mentioned, Flores is there, obviously, to body up
Yeah.
Joseph Yo and Mac Cardona. It seems, as of the moment, as we speak, DJ, that it is FEU with the edge in terms of the side war. So far, at least.
Naunahan nila.
Naunahan.
Kumbaga sa drive first step, nakuha nila yung first step. Kumbaga sa psychological advantage, naunahan nila sa lamang, naunahan nila sa focus. And what they have to do now is keep control and maintain this kind of intensity and aggressiveness.
Rizada against Cardona. Santos steps back, gives it up. Rizada shoots the 3.
Oh, big
That's
shot.
baby home! RJ Rizada with 11 points in the game and an 8-point lead for FEU, 27-19. Did you see that face?
I got my poker face on.
Cardona sets up Benitez.
Oh!
Arwin Santos denying Mark Benitez of entry.
That's your best defensive player of the league.
2-time Defensive Player of the Year of the UAAP, sending a message to the Green Archer right there on our Smart Buddy Instant Replay. No
Ooh.
way, baby!
Yan ang tinatawag na tiniktik pa sa board.
RJ Rizada, 5 out of 6 from the field. 11 points in the game. Jam, what do you have for us?
Well, Coach Boy is very happy about the first 10 minutes of the ball game. He said in the first quarter, you've been playing like a champion. You have to sustain a strong start and keep that composure. He said we cannot be complacent. Again, he reminded his players that the faint-hearted will not perform and the scared will not deliver. He said if you're not afraid, you'll do everything. That's what he mentioned.
Thank you very much, Jam. Well, FEU is not looking like they're complacent. They're very aggressive, and their captain is showing it. Don Yabut with the up and under move for the 10-point lead, 29-19. We will be back. Welcome back to the Big Dome for the 6 more minutes that we have to play here in the first half. As the alumni of De La Salle, si Randy Santiago, si Gary Lucy naman from Ateneo yan, ano? Joining us here in the Big Dome. Ryan Aranya, well, he's shaking his head. He has every right to do so. He has not been a productive player for Coach Franz Pumaran here in game number 2.
And this has been interesting, Boom. In the 2 wins that La Salle has had against FEU in the season, in Game 1 of the finals and in the first round of the elimination round, Ryan Aranya was the man, and he had 16 points in both those victories. Today, he still has 0 points. And interestingly enough, for FEU, it's another lefty who has been the hero so far, RJ Rizada. He's leading the pack with 11 points.
Pati si Jeffrey Chan, sumusundot-sundot dyan. T.Y. Tang finally finds the stroke from the outside and foils this 9-0 run. And to stop the bleeding. So it's a 9-2 run from FEU, and Miranda shakes his head and says, no rookie is going to stop me from coming in.
No help there for Mac Cardona. Everybody was looking around elsewhere, trying to watch out for the screens coming out, and Mac Cardona just lost his man.
Well, you know, in game number 1, we talked about the bench scoring of these two teams, but today, the starters of FEU have already been 25 points, or have had 25 points. DLSU, 13 in the game.
Wow.
Denok Miranda settles for the long 3. Nothing there, and Kabatu comes away with a retrieval. 4 on 2. Yo loses the ball in midair, and I think that is a correct call, PJ.
Was it called a charging foul or just...
No, it was, he just lost the ball, yes.
Good call there. He just simply lost the ball in midair.
Sayang yun, because it came out to be a 4-on-2 advantage.
He had Mac Cardona on the left wing, didn't decide to pass it off to him.
Oh, but Yo saving himself and taking it away from Arwin Santos. Yo goes to the other side, drawing the foul from Arwin Santos.
Nice pass that time from Mac Cardona,
Yes.
seeing the streaking Yo.
Yun yung naging diferensya. Yo kanina did not give us the ball.
But smart move by Joseph Yo to go for the reverse, which made him get some more contact from Arwin Santos.
Second personal foul on the Defensive Player of the Year and MVP for season 67. Joseph Yo will go to the 15th parallel.
Now Mark Isip comes in the ball game for Arwin Santos, who has 2 fouls. And interestingly, I did some digging. In the 4 losses of FEU this whole season, counting the 3 in the elimination and the first game in the finals, in all 4 games, Mark Isip has committed at least 4 fouls in all 4 losses that they've had. So he has been the barometer of the losses. Kapag foul trouble si Isip, delikadong FEU.
You know, La Salle is looking for an extra scorer in this game, something that Aranya provided in game 1 and even in the first round victory of La Salle against FEU. Today, nobody has actually stepped up for La Salle. The old reliables like Cardona, you know, have had a hard time also. Not Cardona in this game. Has scored 6 points. And the rest, well, the closest would be T.Y. Tang with 4. Yabut sends it out to Miranda. Iniwanan. Miranda draws closer, sidesteps, and slithers through traffic, and able to get it up and in for the 33-22 count.
That's maturity right there for Denok Miranda, not rushing his shot.
Cardona aims for the 3. Nothing there, and Mark Isip,
Good box out.
blocking out Kako from any kind of position. They go inside to Isip, who loves it.
What a seal.
He loves it. He loves doing that. You know, while players are running down, he all of a sudden seals his defensive player.
That's self-discipline for you. That's his good habit. Quickly races down court, leads his man down court, and seals him off right away. Check out this nice drive from Denok Miranda.
Shifting the ball in midair. Denok Miranda in this game, already with 6 points. Jerwin Gago called for his second personal foul as T.Y. Tang and Gago go to the bench. Alanya is back for the Green Archers. Oh, I'm sorry, T.Y. Tang stays there and just had a little chat with Coach Franz Kumare, Coach Jabib, or Coy Banal with Jabib Garcia and Jet Cutler. No team fouls for DLSU so far. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, I was looking at a different stat.
Now that's the first team foul of DLSU.
Right.
This second quarter.
Yun, dahil kay Joey Gago na unelected for this 4:05 remaining in the first half. It's a 12-point lead for FEU. You know, here in season 67, LaSalle in close games or when they are behind has had a problem coming back. Most of their wins in that 6-game winning streak that they had, a 7-game winning streak, they averaged an 11-point margin. So they've always battered their opponents. So it's a different look now as Macardona now, again, with his 4th teardrop shot, producing 8 points already in this game.
So hindi naman sa sinasabi natin that LaSalle cannot win when they're coming from behind, but it's just that they've gotten so used to winning by big margins.
Exactly.
Now they're not used to the situation na nag-aabol sila and having to perform in the clutch.
Mark Eason unable to finish that move. T.Y. Tan forward to Cardona. Cardona shoots the 3 and gets it to go! Cardona with 5 straight points to kick his output up to 11 and cut the lead down to 8, 35-27. The confidence of Cardona to take a shot like that.
And he was given so much room by Jabib Garcia in that last point.
The elbow thrown by Jabib Garcia to Ryan Alanya turns the ball over now back to De La Salle.
And you never think that I actually saw them to begin this game, giving each other some pushes and shoves. Nice ball fake here. Jeff Chan says, I don't know what to do. Gave him too much room.
And Mac trains the smart buddy triple. 11 points. And the lead is 8, 35-27. And watching game number 2 of the finals between FEU and De La Salle over Studio 23. T.Y. Tang against Cutler. Back to Cardona. He thought about it. Tries to create space for himself, and he does. Against 3. That is what you call Mac Cardona dismantling that FEU defense all by his lonesome. 7 straight points for Captain Hook. And the lead down to 6, 35-29. Welcome back to the Big Dome. As you're looking at Mr. George Stella Marquez Araneta joining us here at the Araneta Coliseum. Mr. Henry C. also. Good afternoon. Pleasure to have you with us. In the meantime, Mac Cardona shooting 6 out of 8 today for 75%. He's coming into the series averaging 54% from the field. In game 1, he was 50% from the 2-point area, 7 out of 14 as you look at Mr. Sonny Cabato on your screens. It just goes to show you that Mac Cardona really picks his shots. He rarely forces the issue, although he was up against 4 players.
That looked like a poor shot, but he was able to do it with so much confidence. Yung pilit pa na, alam niyang gagawin niya naman.
Naagawan pa niya. Itong si RJ Rizada ng bola off an FEU timeout. Mac Cardona breaks up the play and
look at
total
this.
domination on the rebounding department, 22-7.
Grabe, 15 board advantage so far, and Coach Franz will not be happy with that stat when he sees it at halftime.
Flores now trying to stay with Cardona. Ryan Aranya gets it from Cardona. That's his favorite
Shot.
Oh.
And his favorite shot if you're talking about Aranya.
But no go on that attempt. It is a 7-0 run by LaSalle. And those 7 points, ladies and gentlemen, coming from Mac Cardona. Isim.
Nice pass.
Dropping it to Flores, and the rookie scores his first 2 points in a final series, and is now taunting Mac Cardona.
Alam mo, kung may kumpiyansa siya, he has to realize, iiwanan siya ng depensa. He's gonna have to keep cutting to the basket when his men leave him alone and try to help on the ball.
Flores now commits his foul as he was trying to chase Mac Cardona. And the FEU players talk it over. Hey, reminding you that even after the finals are done on October 2, if you look at this pass once again, Pulas ice assist brought to you by Nescafe Ice. Do the move. Flores now pointing at Mac Cardona. October 2, the All-Star event here at the Araneta Coliseum from 1 to 7 p.m. will involve both the NCAA and the UAAP players. We'll tell you more about that a little later on. In the meantime, turnovers piling up here in this ballgame. 37-29, an 8-point lead for FEU at the 150 mark. Rania with the spheroid against RJ Rizada. Sets the screen. Cardona for the three. Off the back iron. And the ball tap will go to Junjun Kabatu. Aranya thought about it. They have fresh shot clock. Cardona attacks the defense once again. Sets up Aranya, but this time that play backfires.
Well, the problem now for De La Salle, even though they're only down by 8, and still wala naman talagang full domination so far sa ball game to the FEU. It's only been Mac Cardona. He has 13 points in this game, but nobody else has really gotten into any kind of groove offensively to help him out. No Aranya, not even Kabatu has put some decent points on the board. So they gotta set up somebody else. Fine, Mac is scoring, but you can't keep going to it. You have to get somebody else to get hot before the halftime buzzer sounds.
Kabatu fakes, puts up the teardrop, nothing there, and Arwin Santos finally coming away with a repossession. 13 turnovers for FEU, 12 for La Salle. 15 points off those turnovers for DLSU. They have caught up.
Yep.
On 13 lamang para sa FEU. Miranda has it knocked away. He was looking for a foul on that play. 60 seconds remaining in the first half of game number 2. And an 8-point lead for the defending champs. Playing with a little sense of urgency today. Isip, nice spin, but comes up short. And they put it back as Arwin Santos gets his 7th rebound and his 4th point of the game. Cardona had the door slam, finds Benitez, and Benitez draws the foul from RJ Rizada.
And the whole FEU bench held their breath for just a split second there, as they were so worried that could have been the 3rd foul on Arwin Santos. But the help was there, coming from RJ Rizada, blocking him from behind. That is RJ Rizada's 2nd foul, likewise. So he joins Arwin Santos with 2 fouls early on.
Actually,
He's pulled out right now by Jeff Chan.
it looked like a clean block, and then bumaba yung kamay dun sa wrist.
Medyo,
Kaya sumabit.
Kuha na yung bola.
Oo.
Yung pagka sa follow through, saka pa hinampasan yung wrist.
But these were plays, defensive plays that we did not see in game number 1. Most of the shots underneath from La Salle were very open and were not challenged.
Contested,
A
yes.
lot of them came from Ryan Aranya and Cholo Villanueva underneath, and even guys like Mark Benitez. But today, you know, kumbaga sa bahay, pinapatay ng FEU yung ilaw ng La Salle.
Yep. Well, ang ginagawa nga ng FEU, they're much more aware defensively of the movement of La Salle. They're not allowing the easy inside incursions. They're focusing more defensively in the paint. Hinahayaan nila yung outside shots. T.Y. Tang, take your shot.
Yes.
Mac Cardona, find you at a 3, take your shots. They're gonna let them live and die with the 3-point shots.
And speaking of inside points, well, FEU has 11 offensive rebounds, TJ, and 11 second chance points as the rookie sends that baby home to the delight of the FEU side here in the Big Dome. Wow, the surprise package, and look at the shimmy that he's coming up with against Mac Cardona, who's probably the best here in the UAAP in terms of the War game, but Flores has got Mac's number, and
he's dancing up and down around in front of Mac.
And I believe that is his role, DJ.
He's here to be the enforcer, the guy that everybody says, sino yan?
There
I'm sure.
are not a lot of players who can engage Mac in War tactics. I can only name one right now in Wesley Gonzalez, maybe Marco Padilla. But Flores now is getting the number of Mac. T.Y. Tang goes to the other side.
Ooh.
No! The stick back by Mark Benitez. Just in the nick of time. cuts the lead down to 10, but it has all been FEU here in the first half. 42-32, and Koy Banal pulling out a rabbit from his hat as this guy trains the three. 5 points in the ball game for his first finals appearance for Paul Flores. The lead is 10, and we will be back with our halftime summary here in the Big Dome. Stay with us, please. Green Archers 42-32, a 10-point advantage after the first 20 minutes of the ball game. And of course, Tamara is trying to force a do-or-die matchup on Thursday for game number 3. The series is led by LaSalle 1-0. Good afternoon again, Philippines. Boom Gonzalez with TJ Manotok for ABS-CBN Sports. And what did you see in the first half, TJ?
Well, we saw a totally different FEU ball club. Totally different from what they showed us in game number 1. They came out very strong, very focused, and this is what happened in the first half. Look at the total field goals. They shot so well from the field, 53%. However, LaSalle themselves respectable, 46% from the field, but this is where it gets ugly. 26 rebounds as compared to 9. How can you believe LaSalle only had 9 rebounds the whole first half? Well, folks, it happened. And Coach Franz, I'm sure, is livid right now in the dugouts, really on his big man and not going to allow this to happen, that they're out-rebounded by 17 rebounds at halftime alone. It is also translated into 11-2 ang lamang nila sa second chance points. So a big first half by FEU. Big lead in the boards and big lead in the bench scoring. And so far they've come out very focused, very aggressive.
So different from game number 1. The focus of FEU here in the first half of action. In the meantime, it has only been Mac Cardona, the bright spot of the De La Salle Green Archers. 6 out of 9, 13 points in 14 minutes of action in the first half. In the meantime, it's the lefty from FEU that's been killing etong De La Salle Green Archers. Rizada is 5 out of 6, 11 points in 15 minutes. The difference, though, is that FEU has had more help rather than compared to Mac Cardona and the rest of the Green Archers.
Absolutely. We're looking right now at the leading scorers for both clubs. Rizada leading the pack with 11 for FEU, with Denek Miranda. Don Yabot with 6 points. That's a better output for him so far as compared to only 4 points in game number 1. For LaSalle, you only got Mac Cardona with 13 points, but nobody else has gotten any group. T.Y. Tang has 4 points, then Joseph Yo with 3, then you got Meyerhofer, Benitez, all with 3 points. So as you look at FEU's bench scoring, Flores has 5, Jeff Chan has 5, Mark Isip has 3 points. So you've got a better bench scoring situation right now for FEU with 10 points already as compared to game number 1, 17-7. Lamang po yung DLSU sa bench scoring in game number 1. Although right now, LaSalle does have some good numbers from the bench, but FEU, better production and better balance scoring so far.
All right, we have the third quarter on your way in just a few seconds, so stay with us, please. You're watching the UAAP Finals here on Studio 23. The side event slam dunk 3-point shot, the 2-3 ball, and we hope to see you here at the Big Dome for that. And of course, you can catch it live on Studio 23. In the meantime, third quarter is underway. Welcome again to the exclusive and live coverage to Studio 23 of game number 2 of the finals between De La Salle University and defending champion FEU Tamaraos. And that's a good sign, the 10th rebound of LaSalle in this ball
the
game.
whole game. Well, no changes in the starting lineup of Coach Franz Pumaran. This is the same 5 that started the ball game for him. But for Coach Koy Banal, he adjusted with the guys who he has seen played well and played well together in the first half. He's got Flores still on the court together with Arvin Santos and Mark Isip, and Denok Miranda, and their leading scorer right now, RJ Rizada.
Flores, second personal foul of the game. Different story from game number 1 where LaSalle was ahead 39-26 after the first 20 minutes. Here, it is FEU with already 42 points. We'd like to remind you that in game number 1, FEU was only able to muster 51 points in the whole game. In the meantime, a bad pass from Denok. 3-on-2 and a weak, lazy pass from Junjun Kabato.
Well, number 1, you don't want your center bringing down the ball and leading the fast break.
Buti na lang, nabiyayaan sila dito as Flores commits the aggression foul. His third personal of the ball game as T.Y. Tang able to take the charge.
Well, Boom, coming into this ball game, as you mentioned, a lot of talk about Ryan Aranya picking up his third unsportsmanlike foul last time around.
That's right. Second.
Second, wala. Should have been suspended if you go with the technicalities of ranking up to unsportsmanlike fouls.
foul.
But according to the UAAP board, they reviewed that ball game, they reviewed the foul, and it was not unsportsmanlike enough, or no intent to harm down.
Hurt, that's right.
No intent to hurt.
It was still deemed an unsportsmanlike
Correct,
foul.
yes.
Because again of the nature, but it was not meant to hurt, so they reevaluated it, and he got a reprieve. Etong si Ryan Aranya. In the meantime, TJ will go back to that and send it over to Mickey Deles for this report. Mickey?
During halftime, the boys were told to relax. It is vital that they don't get intimidated by their opponents. Instead of focusing on the Tamarao's strengths, they must focus on the awesome potential when they play as one. Coach Franz told his boys to come back out here a hungrier team. We must move. We must be aggressive. We must play to our maximum potential. We're a veteran team. We're a thinking team. We can do this. Back to Boom and TJ.
Well, you know, sometimes that happens. You know you're on the verge or the cusp of that championship. You're very confident. You're coming off a big, astounding win. And then, you know, you get a little bit excited.
Correct. Medyo tentative ka na.
Again, you know, we've said it many times in our broadcasts, TJ. Okay yung may emotion eh. Okay yung may enthusiasm.
Has
but
to be
how
under
to
control.
channel it,
Yes, has to be under control.
Gakwa spins. Oh! Mark Isip was there.
Facial.
Giving him and serving him up a facial. Kabatu tries his luck, and he gets that one to trickle in. And this is a good sign for Coach Franz Pumarin. They need the points from other guys from LaSalle.
Well, in the first half, they saw Mark Cardona score 13 points, and they kept going to him. They have to try and set up other guys. Junjun Kabatu's good setup there at the post was a good sign for him.
That's money in the back for Arwen Santos, scoring 6 points and 8 rebounds in the game. The MVP finding his range. In the meantime, Cardona is covered by John Ross de la Cruz.
Another new face for
First
Coach
time.
Boy.
And Cardona weaves his magic, but is unable to finish that shot. Kabatu forces this one up. Nothing there. Aranya, Isip, Gako. Who wants the ball more?
Wow.
Who wants this ball game more?
Look at the battle for the boards inside. It's gotten more intense now in the second half. I'm sure Coach Franz is very unhappy being totally out-rebounded 26-9 at the half.
Yes.
He told his boys, you guys got to get in there. And remember, in game number 1, they out-rebounded FEU, and 2 of the top rebounders there were Aranya and Cardona. They had 6 apiece. So now they're getting in the middle of the paint and challenging the boards again. That's what they did well in game number 1. They have to do that here in the second half if they want to get back in this game.
He said, Coach Franz Pumarin, as you saw him a while ago, as Cardona sets up Jerwin Gako, and you see the green shirts a little more aggressive inside the paint and not settling for those outside shots. I was going back to that point Coach Franz Pumarin said in the papers after the win, even today going into this ball game, that game 1 win doesn't mean anything if you lose this one.
Yep.
Gako now will go to the 15th parallel, a pair of gift shots. It has been a Macma Cardona show for DLSU. 13 points in the game. Oh, that was a miserable miss from Jerwin Gako.
You know, Boom, I remember before this game we were reading the facts of the history of the best of 3 finals in the UAAP, and out of the 10 times that there have been a best of 3 series, the team that won game 1, 7 out of 10 times won the championship. But in those 3 times that they didn't close it out to win the championship, 2 of those 3 were LaSalle.
That's right.
And they lost 2 straight. But that was back in the early 90s.
Mark Isip is fouled, and the foul is on a green shirt. Let's send it over to Jam Alindogan, who's filing this report. Jam?
Yes, in the dugout during halftime, Coach told his players that they are playing not to lose but to win. They prayed together, and after that, Coach reminded them that they have to continue working together aggressively and smartly. He said that is what collaboration means. We will maintain this intensity by keeping in mind that LaSalle will not back down right away, and the Tamaraos will always be on their toes. Back to Boomer TJ.
Thank you very much, Jam. Well, speaking of a little bit of trivia, as TJ was giving you some earlier, Mark Isip.
Oh, what a move!
That is a power move.
Wow.
And look at the face that he comes up with right after that shot. It was like nobody was going to stop him. He will not be denied that sequence. The lead is 11, 46, 35. Cardona lines up the 3, throws it up. That is off the mark. Miranda is looking to start a fast break. Goes to Rizada. And Mark Isip trying hard to stick it back, but Kabato comes away with a retrieval. The Green Archers on a run, 3-3. Tang settles for the 15-footer, gets it to trickle in.
Big shot there for T.Y. Tang. He didn't see the numbers. Medyo malamya yung depensa sa kanya sa top of the key, and he found the opening to take that jumper. He's got to get his points on the board. He's got to get his attempts. He can't be relegated to a non-factor offensively.
Miranda loses his footing. Rizada recovers. They send it over to the other side. 8 seconds left on the shot clock, and naiwanan ang konti si Kapato doon.
And again, a great seal by Marquis. He has been working so hard without the ball in this whole ball game, sealing off the big men of Lasal. When they least expect it, it happens in the moments when the ball is swung to the weak side. Nagre-relax yung pantay mo. Take a step in the paint, get in front of him. Right there, nice seal, good position by Marquis.
Just a second, that's what he needed. And June Kapato's attention went to something else or someone else, and Mark Isip, the thinking player that he is, part of the fun, takes advantage of that situation, and now goes to the 15th parallel. A couple of gift shots at the 6:17 mark of this third quarter. I mentioned earlier that no team has recovered from a Game 1 loss in the last 4 seasons, and the only team that did that the last time, that was 1999, it was LaSalle against UST. UST had the edge of 1-0. LaSalle came back under Coach Franz Pumaret to score his second championship in 1999. Isip rims out that free throw shot. One of the more reliable shooters from the line for Coach Boy Banal, shooting at 65% from the 15 parallel. 6 rebounds. Mark Isip today, 1 out of 2 in that area. And he sits down for the captain of the Tamaraws, Don Yabut, now in the ballgame.
And now that FEU is still in the lead, Coach Boy Banal's rotation is now in his control. He's not reactionary to the situation as compared to Lasal, who is trying to catch up, and they have to react to what situations are on the floor.
That's an excellent point, DJ. Nakikita mo yung difference na dito. Correct. The substitution patterns. Tang up and over. And then Miranda comes away with his repossession. Cutler goes to Yabut. No, he goes to Santos. Santos puts it on the floor. 16 on the shot clock of FEU. Chan sends it out to Miranda. Sends it out to Cutler. Top of the circle. Nothing there. Just imagine if that shot went in.
Yeah, that would have been the supreme patience play for FEU. But what happens now?
Third personal on Arwin Santos.
And penalty pala ng FEU. Only 2 team fouls for LaSalle so far here in the whole first 5 minutes of the third quarter.
5:43 to play. You're watching game number 2 of the finals for the 67th season of the UAAP. We will be back. Back in the ball game here, and FEU in the lead, now only by 4 points. LaSalle is feeling something's going on here. As you look at the field goals, and FEU only taking 9 shots, and now a traveling infraction called on Mark Isip.
One thing going for them though is rebounding. LaSalle has gotten the better of them 9-6, and one thing going though for FEU, LaSalle has not shot that well from the field, 5 out of 14.
But you see the aggressiveness.
Yes.
Yung nagkaibahan yung the tables have turned in terms of the aggressiveness, and the rebounding here in the third quarter shows that. Benitez gets hit. The ball goes to FEU with under 2 minutes to play here in the third. Cutler trying to keep this team together while Denok is out. Yabut out to Rizada. Rizada strokes it, rims out, and the top goal to Joseph Yo. He sends it over to Mac Cardona. Cardona back to Yo. Pass picked off by Jeff Chan.
There are some times that you can't be too aggressive. That was a 2 against 3. They should have copped out.
Yabut giving it up to Rizada. Rizada nowhere to go. Gives it back to the point guard, and Castro now breaking up the play.
Well, one interesting stat as we near the fourth quarter, boom. We're in the fourth quarter, foul troubles begin to hurt. Total fouls for this ball game, 16 have been called in FEU. On LaSalle, only 5. So LaSalle has a clean slate, a fresh slate in in terms of not worrying about anybody's foul trouble in the fourth. But FEU has got a whole slew of guys. In the total, 16 fouls that have been called against them this whole game.
Jed Cutler did what he could do for the team, and now Denok Miranda is back in the ballgame. So is Ryan Aranya to play leech-like defense on him, and he's on him like glue right now. Eason pulling up. Yapon could not control. Miranda from 14, nothing there. Aranya loses it, and Joseph Yo recovers. Aranya, nowhere to go. He left his feet without not knowing what to do with the ball.
Jumping without any idea of what to do, and he panicked in that situation. Very rarely do you see Ryan Aranya choke in a open court situation like that. Coach Koy Banal now stepping on a bit of a panic button, putting in Arvin Santos back in the ball game, pulling out Don Yabun.
They're gonna try to finish this third quarter strongly, DJ, as Denok Miranda turns the ball over, commits the infraction, and Aranya and Benitez applying the double team and then using the sideline for that triple team. Parang actually parang quadruple na rin dahil
That's a square.
oh,
The trap right there, nowhere to go. They have held down FEU scoring here in the third quarter. They've only allowed 8 points for FEU.
nobody said it was gonna be easy. Aranya, what a shot!
man!
Oh baby, what a sensational play by Ryan Aranya!
Talk about not being easy, Boom!
Woo! Puts a little wax on that move to smoothen it out. Yo on Miranda, 12 on the shot clock. Jeffrey Chan draws closer, sets up Santos from 15, nothing there. Firehopper did not have control of the ball. Rizada for 3. Santos is fouled by Aranya downstairs. What action here at the Big Dome. This is game number 2 of the finals. Second personal foul on Ryan Aranya. And LaSalle is up in the grill of FEU right now. They are only behind by 2 points. Solo Villanueva now in the ball game for Ryan Aranya. 5.5 seconds remaining in the third period. Eason trying to seal Benitez. Jeffrey Chan goes nowhere. Firehopper sends it to Yo. Would have counted if it went in, but this is the best quarter for De La Salle so far, DJ.
Absolutely, their best quarter, both offensively and defensively. And the nice thing about it is some other guys have woken up. It's not just Mac Cardona. Ryan Aranya has now made his presence felt in the house.
DY Tang 2, and we are in the midst of a DLSU 11-3 run. We will be back with fourth quarter action of the Big Dome.
I don't see the signs
The
anymore.
nosebleed section, as they would love to call it. We are just back to the rafters.
If you're familiar with the Araneta Coliseum, they've got advertisements
around.
pa rin. Ayun, little banners up there. They're halfway covered
Look
up.
at that.
Yan,
It's dark
yan.
up there, but look at them. You can't see the signages, thank God, but you see the people. Nagsisiksikan. Ang hirap siguro mag-cheer yun.
You gotta fight for elbow room to clench your fists as you cheer.
5:41 to play. And the lead is 8.
Different look now for the full court press of Coach Franz. He throws a 1-2-1-1 instead of the usual man-to-man full court press.
I haven't seen a lot of the press, DJ, and this is because LaSalle has not been scoring.
Never been scoring much. Hard to set it up when you don't score.
Chan, the DY Don breaks up the play. A pass intended for the Don. They go to Aranya. Aranya has been unproductive in this game until that one. And look at the reaction. It's like, finally, I get something up and in. The first 2 points for Ryan Aranya.
It wasn't easy, Boom. He had to bleed for that one in the face of the big men of FEU.
Traveling infraction called on Denok Miranda.
Ito na ngayon yung different look ng press ni Coach Franz. All throughout this ballgame so far, FEU has done a pretty good job in breaking the man-to-man full court press. Now it's a zone, and they're adjusting again.
Aranya's reaction to his first 2 points caught on our Smart Buddy instant replay. Kapatu against Santos to try to fish that fourth personal. Tang from 15 gets it to triple A. 8 points for DY Tang. DJ, you called it. He has to look for his shots, and he has been looking for them right now.
He can't be a non-threat offensively.
Yes.
Because if he is a non-threat, FEU's just not going to care about him on defense.
Getting the lucky bounce on that one. Cutler nowhere to go. He settles for the three. Big shot!
Big shot!
Big shot! He quiets down the LaSalle crowd as he sends that baby home from beyond the arc.
What a big momentum breaker there from Jet Cutler.
Oh, what a game. Joseph Yo finds T.Y. Tang, the pass too much ahead of him, and Yo is another non-factor in this ballgame, TJ.
He has not gotten his game going so far. As you see this big shot, Jet Cutler.
And that one brought to you by Smart Buddy. Shushes the crowd with a three-point shot, just as LaSalle was trying to get its groove back. Under 4 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Denok has been dribbling the time away. 10 on the clock for FEU. Now down to 7. Yo staying with Chan. And LaSalle breaks up that play and stays with FEU with 3 seconds remaining.
Well, what Denok Miranda has to do now is really settle his boys on the court. Medyo nagkaka-open court ball game dahil LaSalle has scored back-to-back baskets off turnovers. He cannot allow his team to ride with the same kind of tempo of LaSalle. They've done so well with a relaxed kind of a ball game, setting it up half court and executing well. They can't break from that mold, what has done so well for them. For LaSalle naman, they've been getting some steals off their presses. They have to continue doing that, but still, get another scorer aside from Cardona on the board.
Isip, the ball stripped from him. JB goes to Cardona. Cardona finds a way to go to the basket, but comes up short. And Isip comes away with another rebound. His 7th of the ball game. A double D on Denok. Isip sends it out to Yablon. Overshoots, and Cardona comes away with a retrieval. Joseph Yo, who has only attempted twice in this game, would you believe? Cardona, and another one of his trademark shots. You know, Coach Franz Kumare just sent him in. Parang may nasa-sense siya, they have a rally coming on. So he sends JV Casio and Mac Cardona in at this point of the game.
Nice timing to bring him back just when they're mounting on some momentum.
And Joseph Yo takes the candy away from the baby. Cardona loses his footing and is fouled by Jeffrey Chan.
Wow.
And Coach Koy Banal could not believe the call.
What a call! He traveled before there was a contact.
I believe so too, DJ, from our
Wow.
angle.
And that's now the 7th team foul. And they're in penalty, remember, even though that was not an active shooting. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the contact. Wow.
That is
Big call there.
huge. Missed call.
1, 2, 3, 4, and then the push from Chan.
First personal though on Jeffrey Chan. And
Pero penalty ang FEU dun
Yun
sa
nga.
because they get 2 free throws, the clock not moving.
all the breaks, all part of a game, whether it's a championship or not. And now the lead is down to 5. This is the closest that LaSalle has been able to get to FEU. Remember, they were down by 10 at halftime. The biggest lead of the game was 13 at 35-22. Cardona is 1 out of 2 on that trip. Rizada. The lead down to 4 now, 50-46. They send it over to Cutler, who nailed the three-pointer earlier. This time he misses miserably. Cardona comes away with a retrieval. And the fans right behind us from LaSalle feeling something. Yo shoots the three. Nothing there. Cardona could not contain the spheroid. Yo has only had 3 attempts in the game. He is 1 out of 3.
This is a precarious situation where LaSalle is making a big run for it, and FEU does not have Denok Miranda on the court to maintain the composure of his boys. Jet Cutler is the main guy at the point right now, and we'll see how he can react and keep his guys in the lead.
And DJ, we all need this timeout. We will be back. Stay with us, please. The Big Dome, because the Green Archers finish the quarter with an 11-3 run, and prayers are being said now 10 minutes. Whether it will be the final 10 minutes of season 67, we will find out. This is game number 2 between FEU and De La Salle. All brought to you live on Studio 23. Boom Gonzalez, DJ Manotoc, Mickey Dennis, and Jamal Indogan for ABS-CBN Sports. RJ Rizada, the bright spot in the first half, as we see Jeffrey Chan score on that one, was nothing in the third quarter. 0 out of 2. You also saw in our quarter scoring that FEU came up with only 8 points in that quarter.
Well, you gotta credit the defense of LaSalle and the adjustments of Coach France. He adjusted to a zone press. He adjusted with a little bit more aggressiveness defensively, and they won the battle of the boards in that quarter.
Well, they always say finals a matter of adjusting, and not only from game to game, but play to play, quarter to quarter, as RJ Rizada slipped on the baseline and turns the ball over.
Well, both coaches right now, Boom, not holding any punches starting the fourth quarter. Very strong. Normally you see them maybe pulling out one star and giving him a little bit more minutes of breathing room. Pero ito, Cardona, Cabato, they're all in there. Santos, Isip, Miranda, they're all in there.
And Mark Isip, unable to close down the baseline, commits his third personal on the Mac Cardona drive.
So he joins Arwin Santos right up there with 3 fouls. Let's check out. Good call. He was still backtracking when the contact was made.
Nothing established for Mark Isip on that play. The lead is 4. 24 turnovers for FEU, LaSalle with 20. 22 points off the turnovers for LaSalle, 13 only for FEU.
And that's been the difference of aggressiveness.
Oh, what a play. That was a great play. Cardona taking it away from Arwin Santos. Arwin Santos blocking back Cardona. The 2 MVP contenders. Oh, and RJ Rizada. That's a picture-perfect looking shot. Off the glass, and they stymie the LaSalle run, and a little more breathing room between the 2 teams. 6 points for FEU. Hang time for Joseph Yo, but misses off the glass.
Well, FEU begins this quarter with some damage from their lefties, Rizada and Chan.
It has been the Sinistro connection. Jeffrey Chan and RJ Rizada, the 2 left-handed players. Southpaw connection of FEU. Isip railroading Jun Cabato. Goes back for the stick back, and Cabato says enough is enough. 8-minute mark on the fourth quarter. Cardona against Santos. Cardona met by Rizada against a triple team. And a jump ball, and the possession arrow pointing to the Green Archers. As Ryan Aranya and T.Y. Tang will make their re-entry with under 8 minutes to play in this ball game.
Good choice.
I think so too. 7:49 to play here in the fourth. Cardona, risky pass to Cabato. Cabato not panicking. Aranya, the double team on him. And again, Aranya has issued a couple of careless passes.
Yeah, errant passes. That pass hit the back, well, the bottom support of the board, so that's an automatic violation that is counted as out of bounds. Ooh, risky pass here.
And T.Y. Tang takes it away from Jeffrey Chan. 70, or make that 54-48, 7:27 remaining in the pivotal fourth quarter of game number 2. Tang, oh, that's a tough shot and a tough angle to work with. And Arwin Santos takes care of that rebound. Gago fouls Arwin Santos on the run.
If DLSU,
yung momentum.
you know, if DLSU wants to come back and get the lead here in the fourth, they've got to execute in the half court. They've come back in this ball game and have made the runs in the open court. Points of transition, points of turnovers. Pero pagka nag-buckle down yung defense ng FEU, kailangan makapag-execute pa rin sila and get those points in the half-court set.
More from LaSalle with Mickey Deles. Mickey.
One of the insignia of the LaSalle system is Signum Fidei, which translated means sign of faith. Faith in themselves and in those around them is what is keeping the Archers going today. According to Coach France, though, defense is still their deadliest weapon, so they must out-hustle FEU and get those rebounds. The boys are told that they work so hard for this, so they cannot rush. They have to play with extra effort effort and continue to work towards surpassing the Tamara's intensity. With 10 minutes left, the Archers must patiently make every second count. Back to Boom and TJ.
Well, time is down now to 6:41, so all of that has to come within this time frame that we just talked about. Cardona, naipit siya dun, and Jeffrey Chan knew what he was going to do. Chan spinning and drawing the foul from T.Y. Tang.
Nice presence of mind there that it was only T.Y. Tang he had to contend with. Gathered himself and decided what kind of move to make. So far, the FEU defense has held up so well here in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
They have not allowed LaSalle a single point here in the fourth. They're still stuck at 48 points with 6:33 to go in the ball game.
They are basically fighting for their lives. Talking about FEU. They lose today, they go home, and they are dethroned as the UAAP champions. In the meantime, LaSalle, if they win today, they get their 5th title in 7 years as Mac Cardona will get his rest. And believe me, that's not going to be a long rest. 6:33 to play. It is Jeffrey Chan on the line, and he is 1 out of 2. Let's go to Jamal Indorgan this time for the Tamaraw. Jam?
Yes, in the huddle, coach told his players, I want a lot of execution on both ends in this last quarter. Instead, we have to knock out LaSalle's defensive consciousness. I want your eye on your man, finish this game strong. He said, today is payback time. Back to the leaders.
You know, LaSalle has not led in this game, and that is what happened in game number 1. FEU never led in that ball game. And FEU now looking good here in game number 2, as LaSalle has been scoreless. And Joseph Yo loses possession of that spheroid. He tries to take it back, and he does! But he has just been pulled from the field.
Joseph Yo has not been the usual Joseph Yo for De La Salle. He only has 3 points in this whole ball game. He has absolutely struggled from the field. Even yung mga normal layup na nagagawa niya, hindi niya maipasok.
He has been the missing link in this game. Chan lines it up, gets it to go! And Coach Prince Pumaran signals for time. He needs this one. Very loud venue called the Araneta Coliseum. Makuan with Cheska Litton joining us here at the Big Dome. At the 5:56 mark of this fourth quarter, the lead 60-48. You know, they gave me a wrong score earlier when I said before the timeout at 63-48.
Nag-adjust na yung scoreboard.
Oh, so it's not a 15-point lead. It's a 12-point lead. Nevertheless, it's a tough lead to overhaul in a situation like this. Finals, you're down at 5:46. But, of course, anything can still happen.
Especially since they've been held scoreless the last 4 and something minutes in this fourth quarter.
Yo, inside the defense, still no goal. And 1 out of 7 from the field. Joseph Yo.
Yung mga subo na lang talaga, you can't ask for anything more. It's everything but the shot. Great moves driving down the paint.
The Ninja has not been sharp today. Denom gives it up to Chan, who is 4 out of 5 from the field. Almost got that to go. And a foul by Javim Garcia, maybe a useless foul, but hindi rin.
Wala pa sa penalty. That's a 3rd team foul on FEU, while LaSalle has 2 team fouls.
Let's update you on our Milo Wafer matchup for Anytime, Anywhere Energy. Grab a bar now, and Mac Cardona, and in and out of this ball game, yes. Arwin Santos, who just got the MVP award, has been unproductive from the field, but as we keep on saying from the get-go, the production from the other guys from FEU.
And that's been the problem of LaSalle. Mac Cardona does have 13 points, but the other guys haven't been producing that well.
Cardona again, fresh off the bench, delivers on a teardrop for his 18th point of the ball game.
You know, I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but one interesting thing that I see in the scoreboard booms that LaSalle has no more timeouts left.
Wow.
I think Coach Franz has called them all.
That desperate, eh? And a foul called on the sophomore, J.B. Casio.
Okay, I've just verified, yes, LaSalle has 0 timeouts left. Coach Franz called this last one earlier when he stepped on the panic button and said, "Ops, teka lang, I don't want this game to slip out of control."
DLSU in the lead in terms of the rebounding. I'll make that FEU rather. 42-23.
Wow. Although in the third quarter alone, lumamang yung Lasal sa
Lasal.
Lasal. Pero sobrang laki na lamang ng FEU ng first half.
42-23. Unlike in the first game where they ended up 47-39. Weak pass to Marquise. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Inside
nice.
to Miranda.
Backdoor
That is basketball for you.
Wow. What a pass. What a catch also by Deno.
Zipping the pass, threading the eye of the needle on that one. 4 minutes to play here in game number 2. Cardona nowhere to go. Jabin breaks up the play and waits for more backup. But he commits a dribbling infraction in the process. Double dribble according to the referees. First, the nice pass inside. By Kulasai's assist, brought to you by Nescafe Eyes. Do the move. Yo shoots the 3. Nothing there. And Joseph Yo is 1 out of 8 from the field. Make that 2 out of 8. They are bleeding for their points, DJ. The lead is down to 10. But FEU, make no mistake about it, is not yet out of the woods. But that is money in the bag for the MVP. Arwin Santos fading away on the baseline.
Again, now that FEU has taken control of their turnovers, they're not giving it up on the press of Lasal. Lasal has to be able to prove that they can convert the half-court sets. Their big runs have come from fast break points and from steals off their press.
Arwin Santos may only have scored 8 points, but he has 14 rebounds in this ballgame and 2 blocks to go with him. Coming up on the 3-minute mark of the 4th quarter. FEU is trying to take the fight out of LaSalle at this point. It's a 12-point lead. What a game for FEU, especially. Coach Koy Manal said that his team will look different in this ball game. They sure are proving that Koy Manal gets a brotherly kiss. Or make that Jabim Garcia gets that congratulatory kiss from Coach Koy Manal. Miranda from way out. Almost. As time was expiring on the shot clock.
They did their job in trying to use as much time as possible, but they can't forget to not take a good shot.
Cardona will shoot the 3, rims out. LaSalle right now looking desperate. As Yo takes it away. Yo tries to draw the foul. Did not go straight up. Benitez trying to recover. And the ball will go to FEU.
Normally, you'd see Joseph Yo just run circles around a one-on-one defender in an open court situation, but that time around, with desperation on his mind, he wanted to get the foul and hopefully the 3-point play.
2:13 remaining and a foul committed by the Ninja.
He has just been in a bad slump. Talking about Joseph Yo.
Villanueva sits Mac Cardona down. Is this white?
Looks like
Is this
the white
foul?
flag in terms of Joseph Yo. Siguro, sabi ni
This
Coach
he-
Franz.
Mac ang
Ah,
kinalitan,
hindi.
DJ.
Si Mac. Okay. I thought he was taking out Joseph Yo.
It looks like Francis throwing in the towel.
We'll see.
2-minute mark. Kabato takes it away from Isip. JB Casio now against Santos. Eludes him. Casio goes to Kabato. Kabato goes to Villanueva. And that has been the story of the game. Arwin Santos on the other end. Ending up with a slam. The exclamation point from Arwin Santos. The MVP and the 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And again, the crowd is throwing those fans onto the court, and hopefully nobody gets hit. 1:34 to play. 14-point lead for FEU, and I don't understand why they're throwing these fans.
They don't realize how much damage it can do.
Let's look at this move on our Smart Money Instant Replay. Santos cocks it and flushes it down for the emphatic slam on Chama. And 66-52. Here it is again from a different angle, throwing it down the pipe. Okay, I'm running out of adjectives now.
I'll give you a thesaurus next game.
Let's not show another replay. Yo, draining the three. Cutting the lead down to 11. Now 1:24 to play. Santos 3 on 2. And Jeffrey Chan is fouled from behind. JV Casio. And it looks like LaSalle will go back to the drawing board, as they would always say. Coach Koy Banal has never been down in the championship series. The game that the championship that we won, as you look at that smart buddy 3. Jeffrey Chan, remember, he swept Ateneo last year. Mukhang magkakaroon ng game 3.
Looks like it, if you do the math.
Not only that, on September 29, there will also be a women's volleyball game between De La Salle and UST on Studio 23. That's 4 to 6 in the afternoon. That's happening September 29 for all you volleyball fanatics. DLSU and UST will be playing against each other. That's all part of your extravaganza here on ABS-CBN Sports. Bench scoring today.
Huge.
FEU with 25, LaSalle with only 17. In the first game, it was LaSalle leading 17-7. So everybody from FEU understanding that there's no more tomorrow, as Joseph Yo continues to kick from beyond the arc.
And look at this guy. He has worked so hard, boom, in the paint. Sealing off his man.
9 rebounds.
Perfect timing, boxing out, getting the boards. Good defense, although he did get in a bit of foul trouble early on. But still, he has remained on court and remained one of the vital cogs in today's ball game, in today's victory
Oh,
for
man.
FEU.
It's going to be a solid do-or-die match between FEU and De La Salle. So nothing will be uncorked or popped tonight. There will be no Sunday celebration, as team manager Anton Montinola. Was that Mark Molina also? 11-point lead for FEU, and we are here in front of a stunned De La Salle crowd, TJ. Banyabut, then of Miranda from the get-go of this ball game.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. They have been very consistent all throughout this game. Even though LaSalle made their big run in the third quarter and held them down to only 8 points in the third quarter, they still maintained their focus and defensive intensity. Defense has done a great job for FEU in this ballgame.
And FEU has also gotten back its rebounding might. The trio of Arwin Santos, Mark Isip, and Denok Miranda with 31 rebounds.
That's huge.
To the 27 of the whole DLSU team.
That is huge. That is absolutely huge.
If you think the Big Dome is packed today, I can just imagine what's going to happen in game number 3, TJ. PJ Walsham high off the glass over Arwin Santos, and Coach Koy Banal will congratulate his players by sending in 4 players from the bench, and they will move out Santos, Isip, and Chan, and they will go back to the bench together with RJ Rizada.
Well, now going into game number 3, boom, the big question is who's got the momentum and who's got the psychological advantage?
It will boil down to a war of attrition.
Yep.
DJ,
You can throw the stats out the window. It's a matter of
nerves na yan, eh.
nerves, attitude, and mental toughness.
Focus,
in game 3.
that's right. And FEU showing, as I mentioned in the pregame, that they have championship heart as they bounce back here in game number 2 and beat De La Salle University to tie the series at 1-all. And I still do not get why fans are being thrown here. These sponsored fans that we have. Anyway, that's your final score, 67-57. We'll be back to wrap this baby up. Well, when the smoke cleared, FEU bounces back and beats De La Salle in game number 2, 67-57. The victorious Coach Koy Banal and team manager Anton Montinola, and the rejoicing Tamarao faithfuls on your screen right now, TJ.
Well, what a great ball game for FEU. They came very well prepared. They came very focused, and they didn't come into this ball game being a little bit defensive, and they did not
Yes.
allow the 1-0 lead of LaSalle to intimidate them. They came in like they were the defending champions, and we're going to have an absolute war in game number 3.
That's to say the least. Let's send it over to Jam Malindoga now for our Milo Energy Player of the Game. Jam?
Yes, Boom, I'm here with our 2004 UAAP MVP and of course, our Malo Energy Player of the Game, Arwin Santos. Arwin, tanong ko lang sa inyo, ano yung formula na ibinigay sa inyo ni Coach tong game na to?
Siguro, kasi sa amin lang mga player, no? Sabi namin sa sarili namin, hindi kami papayag ng ganun lang, matututero kami ng mga Lasal. Lalo na nung nalaman namin na sa manager namin na sinaapi ng Lasal, kaya lalo kaming naging ganito na gusto namin talaga talunin yung Lasal. Hindi namin sila patatawagan dahil sa ginawa nila.
Ine-expect mo ba naman nanalo ka ng MVP title? So ano yung nasa isip mo nung nalaman mo na ikaw na talaga yung MVP?
Siyempre, napakasaya ko. Nagpapasalamat ako kay God, sa mga media, sa mga sumuporta sa akin, kila Mayor Pineda, Gonto Monteverde, Edgar Tanco, sa Alam Trinidad, Atty. Chua, lahat sa mga fans din, pati sa mama ko, sa girlfriend ko, si Karin.
Thank you very much, Arwin. And that was Arwin Santos, our Malo Energy Player of the Game. The winning energy lives on. We'll be back for more of the UAAP Basketball Finals only here on Studio 23 to Mercado.
Still have some business to take care of. It's a 67-57 win for the FEU Tamaraos over the De La Salle Green Archers. The Archers never even led in this ball game, and
Not at all.
FEU dominated from the very start, from the first buzzer until the end. All right, we had a lot of spectacular plays here in this game, so let's get to the chosen Samsung best play of the game. And let's look at this one. This one will feature Arwin Santos, the emphatic slam for the exclamation point for the FEU win over LaSalle. That play was brought to you by D410. Slide up to a new dimension. Santos, second year as Defensive Player of the Year, and also this year's MVP. For Direk Alneri and for Mickey Deles and Jam Malindogan and TJ Manotok, I'm Boom Gonzalez. That will do it for us here at the Big Dome for game number 2. FEU winning this one. We are all tied in the finals of this UAAP men's basketball tournament. This has been another ABS-CBN presentation. We'll see you Thursday here on Studio 23. Good evening.